Now Kunta Kinte's free like Levar. He was crowned King Kunta by Kendrick Lamar. He had a descendant named Uhura. Space is the place where she grew up. She could really listen. Her nephew had amazing grace and wisdom. Blind but he could see it's not a prison. Cybernetic vision. And if you look back with precision, you could see the depth from which we've risen. Blackness is resilient. You are your ancestors' wildest dream like Levar. Impossible is not a thing, ask Levar. You taught us how to read hymns, hominin. Taught us how to fight slavery, Romulans. Close your eyes, take flight like Levar. Traveling space-time with Levar.
All right, that is Levar Burton right there.
Well, I think there might be flying cars. I feel like there will be no gas station.
I will leave that to any of your fans and followers and people listening to get back on that track, and they'll be able to listen to the full track of Levar Burton. And as we move along with the show, I would like to ask you, where can anyone purchase this single at? Anywhere online on any of the music outlets? Go right ahead, Pierce.
Yeah, so the album Black to the Future is available everywhere you stream or download music. So it's on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, everywhere. You just search for my name, which is Pierce Freelon, Pierce, last name Freelon, and you'll see actually both my albums. The song you played earlier, Daddy Daughter Day, was from my previous album, DAD, okay. But both albums are available everywhere you look for or stream music.
All right. Thank you for that information. So your website info and your social media info, we need to know that, Pierce. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I don't have any funky spellings or anything tricky. It's just my first and last name, Pierce Freelon, Pierce Freelon. And that's my website is piercefreelon.com. My Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram are all at Pierce Freelon.
All right. Thank you for that info. Thank you so much. So what is the ultimate desire, Pierce Freelon, or what you want all your fans and followers out there to get out of this new LP?
Well, I want folks to see themselves reflected in the future. You know, there's this great Afrofuturist movement where it just says, it's just a quote, it says, there are Black people in the future. You know, we want to see ourselves reflected. We want to help shape what the future looks like, and it starts with our kids. That's why I make music for children and families, because I want our kids to know that they can do anything. They can be anyone. They can create whatever future they desire. And so that's what I hope people will take away from listening to my music.
All right. Well, thank you for that. I would like to ask you, what do you think about Juneteenth becoming a national holiday?
That's
they
a great
working
question.
on that.
So they're working on it. In fact, I read somewhere that it just passed the Senate or the House. I don't know which one, but
waiting
it's happening.
To sign it for it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. I mean, Martin Luther King Jr. said, the moral arc of the universe bends towards freedom. And I see that as another, we're just bending ever so slightly, so slowly more towards freedom. I think that recognition is important. Just like your generation, my parents' generation had to fight for Martin Luther King Jr. to be honored as a national holiday. And guess what? For people who grew up, in the 80s, 90s, or 2000s, they'd just take it for granted. But they had to fight, in order to make that a holiday. So that doesn't mean that, we made it and the struggle's over, but it does mean that we're getting closer and closer to, to trending in the right direction. Now, I hope that Juneteenth legislation is followed up with some reparations legislation. That would be nice. But, I'll take the Juneteenth with the gratitude because I know our ancestors are pleased with that development.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. Thank you. Appreciate it. Now, I would like to mention the other track, Cootie Shot. What inspired you to do that song there? I will play that song at the end of the show. So I'd like to get a brief info. What is the inspiration behind the song called Cootie Shot?
Sure. Well, you tell me, when you were growing up on the playground, do you remember that game, circle, circle, dot, dot, now I got my cootie shot? Did y'all play that on your playgrounds?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
or either,
yeah. And where did you grow up?
Well, it was pretty funny, and it's kind of faded out a little bit. But I rarely remember parts of it on the playground,
Okay.
But I want to hear what you're talking about.
Sure. Yeah. Well, that's just it. So here in North Carolina, that was an important game that we used to play, and I never really thought about it until as an adult. I never thought about it until it was time to get vaccinated, and a game around getting a shot is really interesting. I did some research and found out that the song Cootie Shot really, really became popular in the 50s and the 40s when it was polio was still something people needed to get vaccinated for. And so here's this nursery rhyme, which is a part of American folklore and culture that goes back decades. I thought, well, here's an opportunity to resurrect this ancient song, this old school nursery rhyme, and utilize it to make kids today a little more comfortable with something that's kind of scary, like going to the doctor's office, rolling up your sleeve, and getting them to poke you with something sharp. Like, that doesn't sound like fun at all. So I wanted to bring it back to the game and to make getting vaccinated something that was playful, something that kids could see themselves singing about on their way to go get their vaccination, which is important because, we mentioned earlier that I'm also a member of Durham City Council, and here in Durham, the vaccination rates for the Black community are much lower than for the white community and even the Latinx community. So we know that Black folks are more hesitant for many reasons, or have more barriers to access vaccines than other groups. So I wanted to make music that spoke to the times and that helped Black folks especially, but all kids, get comfortable with being vaccinated and to see themselves reflected in that idea of being healthy and being well and rolling up your sleeve and getting your cootie shot.
Right. A lot of older adults are loving this song. Yes. Mm-hmm. So, it helps other adults to really get in the nitty-gritty of the song and understanding the facts and everything. So I thank you for Cootie Shot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, as we move along, will there be any future music projects or events coming up? Are you doing any events in your community you want to mention, or any future music projects coming up later in the year or next year you want to mention?
Yeah, there's two projects I'd like to mention. One is coming out on Juneteenth. It is a compilation album of 25 Black family music artists. It's called All One Tribe, and Cootie Shot is also on that album. But again, there are 25 other incredible Black artists who are also on that project, and that's dropping on Juneteenth. All One Tribe. And then another project, it's not a music project, but it's a book. It's a children's book. My song, Daddy Daughter Day, is being made into a children's book. We did last year. We were on the Today Show and on NPR and got the attention of some book publishers, and Little Brown Books will be publishing a children's book called Daddy Daughter Day, based on my song. So that'll be out Father's Day of next year, 2022.
Oh, well, congratulations. Wow, I'm so proud of you, Pierce. Wow.
Thank you.
Wow, that is nice. So will you be doing any other events or any more music later in the year or next year?
Yeah, I'll be, I'll be performing a couple of shows. I'll be up in Pennsylvania in August, and in Virginia and D.C., doing some shows up in Chicago this summer in July. And here in Durham, actually, we're doing a Juneteenth event on Friday at the Hayti Heritage Center. So I'll be busy. It's been, since COVID, I haven't had a chance to do any performances or fly anywhere. So it's been a while, but I'm vaccinated. I got my cootie shot, so I'm ready to hit the road again.
All right. Thank you for that information. I'm quite sure you will be putting that information and posting it on your social media and your website, correct?
Yep. If you go to my website, there's a tab that says events. If you click that tab, you'll see what I got coming up.
Well, thank you. You're more than welcome right now, Pierce Freelon, to give a shout-out to all the loving people that have supported you towards your music career and towards this new LP. Go right ahead.
Well, thank you. Can I start with you? Thank you for having me on your show. I appreciate you giving me a platform to share my music.
Oh, my pleasure. I love you. I love your music. I love your aura. I love your character, your personality, your creation. You're a very brilliant man. So I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. And I will also take the opportunity to shout out my mother, Nnenna Freelon. She has a new album out as well. It's called Time Traveler, and she's doing a podcast on grief called Great Grief. I mentioned that my father, the architect, he passed away in 2019, and she's been, been grieving heavily. They were married for 40 years, and so her podcast, she just launched a new podcast with our NPR affiliate, WNC, called Great Grief. So shouts to my mom and being creative in her 60s, still producing music and albums and podcasts, and she's amazing. She's on my album too, by the way, so don't forget our Black to the Future. But yeah, that's
all right. That's it. Well, we're going to give everyone an applause for supporting you and that they continue to do so. So we're coming to a close to the show. If there's any other information you would like to give, Pierce, do so right now.
I guess with some closing words, I will share a quote from my grandmother who said, "Keep an attitude of gratitude." And that's it. I just want to give thanks to you and to everyone who's listening, to my fans and family. Just keep an attitude of gratitude, because I'm really grateful and blessed to be able to make music and share it. And so that's it. Thank you.
All right. And thank you, Pierce Freelon. You can return anytime on my platform with any new projects. I welcome you. And it's a blessing that you are out there reaching out to our Black folks, young and old. And I hope that you continue to doing your creative work. I really appreciate you. You have a blessed day. I will be playing Cootie Shot from which album is this one on, Pierce?
This is on Black to the Future.
Oh, yes. Okay. I got that. And you have a blessed day. This is Brenda Moss, a.k.a. Lady Diva, signing out for Let's Jazz It Up. Thank you, everyone, and good night.
I am scared of needles. Ouch. But there's one thing that I know. I don't want a fever. We can't keep it hot if we catch the cold.
Circle, circle, dot, dot. Now I got my cootie shot.